Y te protejo como cual hoy te protejo como cualquiera.
Hey, oh, there it is. Who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. Really quick, because I'm a math geek. I'm not gonna get a chance like this again. So I got 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Minus 1 is 1. That's how I make it difficult. This is legit paranormal news for tonight. I am King Mike Elligan.
I'm Dreamy David Barr.
Cynn, Shrader Hill author.
Mandy the Machine.
And David, now for our top story.
Mike, as you mentioned, it's
David,
yes.
really quick, and I don't mean to do this. I know that I got in trouble for this last time, and I apologize.
Don't make me go to HR again, Mike.
I have something that I consider. All right. So now when we use the word paranormal, we can mean like a ghost or something unexplained, right? Like that's what I want to where I want to go with this. Can paranormal just mean I can't explain it? Cynn, what's your thoughts?
Anything outside the normal.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy, you think that?
Yeah, something that is, you can't explain.
Okay. The following CD, we'll call it, is coming out, and I won't say the artist, but I will tell you the songs and who they're featuring. First, by the way, it's a cover album. First song is Rockstar with Richie Sambora. Second song is Wood on Fire. Third song is Every Breath You Take featuring Sting. Now, let's just stop a second. Featuring Sting?
Didn't he do that?
No, but you get to get. No, wait. Sting will sing his own song with you? So wait. Open Arms featuring Steve Perry. Steve Perry's going to sing Opening Arms with? Wait a minute. So you got to understand, this is all one CD. Magic Man, the call version, featuring Ann Wilson. No, featuring Nancy. Is it Nancy? Which did one of them pass?
Nancy Wilson.
Which one passed away?
It's either Ann or Nancy.
God damn it! It's featuring one of them, right?
From Heart, right?
Yeah. Long as I Can See the Light, featuring John Fogerty. Right?
Is this a karaoke album?
No, wait. Number 7. I'm not done. Wait. Either Or, featuring Kid Rock. Now, see, maybe it's because, hey, Atkins tumblers. By the way, I left mine with I believe Sarah's mailing it back to me. But you know what the best thing is about Atkins tumblers? It keeps the hot stuff hot and the cold stuff cold.
Oh.
Anyway, so all right. I was never a big fan of Kid Rock just because I was kind of there when he was there, and he kind of went from one thing to another to another to another. He's chameleoned his way through like genres, and people could call that like evolution or chameleon. I Want You Back featuring Steven Tyler. What has rock and roll ever done for you featuring Stevie Nicks? Come on. All right. Posing myself, right? Purple Rain, obviously. Baby, I Love Your Way featuring Peter Frampton. I Hate Myself for Loving You featuring Joan Jett.
Wow. It's a good song.
Wait. Night Move featuring Chris Stapleton.
Well.
Wrecking Ball featuring Miley Cyrus. I can't get no satisfaction. I'm freaking out right now. I can't get no satisfaction. Pose yourself, Mike. This is the news. I can't get no satisfaction. Featuring Pink and Brandy Carly. Keep on Loving You. Featuring Kevin Cronin. Heart of Glass. Featuring Debbie Harry. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Featuring Elton John. Tried to Rock and Roll Me, featuring Melissa Etheridge. This is the only one that I got to be honest, and it has nothing to do with me being an old curmudgeon, but I was just like, yeah. Stairway to Heaven, featuring Lizzo.
What?
That just stuck out because, come on, but those other names are established people. And yeah, she's been established for a while, but we are the champions. We will rock you. Bygones, featuring Rob Halford, Nikki Sixx, and John 5. My Blue Tears, featuring Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran. What's Up, featuring Linda Perry. You know the What's Going?
Yeah.
You're No Good, featuring Emmylou Harris and Sheryl Crow. Heartbreaker, featuring Pat Benatar and Neil Girardo. Bittersweet, featuring Michael McDonald. I Dreamed About Elvis, featuring Ronnie McDowell with the Jordanaires. Let It Be, featuring Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, with special guests Peter Frampton and Mick Fleetwood. Look. You know what?
What's happening? What's happening?
I've never wanted to use the term musician in my life. I hate when other guys that were in bands would call themselves musicians. It's a pretentious. It's like an artist. There's something pretentious about that term, the way they use it. But anyways, I'm so jealous at this point. Right? Last song was Freebird, featuring Leonard Skinner, Artemis Pyle, Alan Collins, Ronnie Van Zant Band. Then on the exclusive limited edition, you get Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Mama Never Said, and Rocking It Live. Now, does anybody here first off know who this artist is that's making this CD? Does anybody? If you already know, don't say it. But if you know, put your hand up. All right, then let's take a guess at it. Dave.
It's the return of William Hung. Remember that guy from American Idol?
Yeah, but that's a reference that probably only me and you and maybe two other guys got. But yeah, of course I did. He was fantastic. No, but seriously, who do you think it was?
I'm guessing William Hung. That's my guess.
All right, that's a bad guess.
No, he's got a shot at getting those people.
All right, no, he doesn't. This is royalty. Cynn, Shrader, Hill, author.
Actually, I do have a better guess, but I'll let everyone else go.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, let it be my guess then. What is it?
No, wait, no, Mandy.
Hell if I know. I have no clue.
Is that a new rapper I'm just unaware of, Mandy? Hell if I know. Have you heard? Hey, Dave, have you heard the new track by Hell if I know?
It's an awesome song.
Man,
Yeah.
it's sick. Hell if I know.
Yeah.
Hell if I know.
I'm gonna guess
hit is
Dolly
Mandy.
All right. Does anybody want to guess again? Do you want me to tell you?
I'm going with Dolly Parton.
Bang.
Because I remember she did something with Rob Halford fairly recently.
Dolly Parton, right, got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or was asked to be inducted,
right.
and she turned it down, stating that she hadn't put her time in enough to be considered rock and roll. So she said she'd make a rock and roll album, and then she'd go in.
Here we are. Wow.
How do you get the Beatles to sing "Let It Be" with you guys
It's
understand
Dolly.
how big Dolly Parton is? No, you might get it, but a lot of the Northeast people, a lot of other people have no idea that she's still the number one selling female country artist of all time. She is looked up to by these other artists.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous How big, Mandy? Mandy, did you know she was that big a star?
Mhm.
You did. See, I did.
Like,
You did.
she's
I
so
did.
big.
Dave?
She's
Yes,
so
I
big
did.
that Elvis wanted to cover one of her songs, but his manager said he had to have the rights to it, and she couldn't do it. And she said no. She turned down Elvis.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I after I saw that, right? Like I saw that she was making a rock album, I was dying laughing at myself because I mean, how old is Dolly? And let's just be honest.
Uh,
70 something.
Oh no way.
70
80s?
something.
80s?
She's late 70s.
Dolly's in her
maybe.
90s. Dolly's got to be in her
No.
90s. Oh
No,
my
she's
god.
not.
How old am I?
No.
And how old was she when I was little? Give me a break.
She's not
Gotta
90.
be. Dave, please, you have a computer near you.
Uno,
You have
uno
one of those-
momento, por favor.
Do you have one of those computers?
She might be 70.
Might
I'm gonna
be
bing it.
72-ish.
She's
I
in
don't
her
know.
80s easy.
No,
80s.
she's
She's
not.
77. She's 77.
Ha.
All right.
3
years off. All right, 3 years off from 80. All right, my bad. Still. So you know what? God damn, that means we could have another 10 years of Dolly.
She's
The evolution.
incredible.
What do you do? Hey, what do you? If
Maybe
you're Dolly,
more. I mean, Betty White went to 99.
yeah, but that's
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
Keith Richards is still going.
yeah, but Betty
He's
White.
pickled, but-
Betty White is like the Michael Jordan of like older celebrities getting old and funnier. Like she's just such a classic that she's the ultimate.
Yeah.
She went to 99. She was like still able to like throw jabs and digs and insults at like 98. I don't know. Just she never stopped. It was fantastic. All right, back to Dolly. Wait a minute, Dave. Did you know she was this? Did you know she was that big? I had no idea she was that big. Of a
I
player.
had an idea she was like pretty big. I didn't know she could get all those guest stars though.
And as far as Miley Cyrus being on there, that's her goddaughter. So that was just a gimme.
But all I think of is working 9 to 5. What a way to make living. I remember that because it was on HBO a lot when I was a kid. This is what I. And then she made a really bad movie with Rocky.
With who?
Rocky.
Really?
Sylvester Stallone. Is that what it is?
How did I miss that one?
Yeah.
I've seen
What
that
movie
one.
did she make with him?
Wasn't it the singing when he was a country singer?
Wait, he was a country singer?
Sylvester Stallone?
Stallone made a. What am I
I
in a
missed-
time warp with you people? What is this?
What? I did not miss
Sylvester
that.
Stallone made a country western movie. Rhinestone. Rhinestone is. What do I gotta look everything I say up now? I think it's like Rhinestone. It was like him and Dolly Parton. He's like trying to break through as a country singer. Yeah. You know why you've
Maybe.
never heard of it? You know why you
Is it
never heard of it?
suck?
Burt
Oh,
Reynolds? Someone
bro.
said.
Yeah, he's saying Mike's saying Burt Reynolds. No, Burt Reynolds was Burt Reynolds was in a movie with Dolly Parton, but no.
Yeah.
What, Sylvester
Best Little
Stallone.
Whorehouse.
Yes, yeah, that was fantastic. But Stallone was in a movie where he was attempting to be a country singer. Yep.
Yeah, it's called Rhinestone. I just looked it up.
Rhinestone. Who's it star?
Sylvester Stallone, Dolly Parton, Tim Thomerson, Rob Liebman.
That's good. You could stop at Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton. Like that movie does exist. In you didn't even know it existed, and you like Dolly.
I might have
I
seen
like
it once.
Sylvester Stallone too.
I like him
But-
too.
Man,
Yeah.
you've seen it?
Well, listen, my father was he loved country music, so I'm sure I've seen it at one point, maybe when I was young. I just didn't remember.
Hey, do you guys notice how she just answered that question again without giving a definitive answer? Did you notice that, Cynn? Cynn, please tell me you're keeping track of the fact that she answers it, but doesn't give you a definitive answer and just sends it back to you. So, Dave, really, that's all I wanted to discuss. Like,
It was released in 1984.
What was?
Rhinestone.
Really? All right, yeah. See,
I was
That-
like
Well,
14.
Right around the time Flashdance came out. So I was all up in Flashdance, not that.
no, but this was such a bomb of a movie. Like, because here we are in 2023, and I'm saying to you, it's a country western movie starring Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton. And even now, you're going, what? No. What do you think people thought when it came out? Like when it came on TV, you're like, hey, it's Rocky. Hey, Dolly Parton. Why is he trying to sing? No. And no one went to see it. I didn't go see it in the theaters. I saw it on HBO. That stunk. That's a horrible idea for a movie. That really is. Lastly, I'll leave it with this. Dave, you ever see DC Cab? With Mr. T in
Probably
it,
like way back in the day.
the two bodybuilders from Rhode Island that were twins. It had one of the oldest Baldwin brother.
Probably. I mean, we're
DC
going way
Cab.
back.
If you guys get a chance, look up this comedy called DC letter D letter C Cab. I'm being dead serious, right? Now, if you're gonna watch it completely, what's the word I want to use for this? Astute, sober. It's gonna be like an 80s comedy. But like if you have a drink and sit back and enjoy the stupidity of it, it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest movies. I watch it all the time because it's so ridiculously stupid. David, what are you?
All right. It is November 1st. In some countries, it's the Day of the Dead. So this one's for my ancestors.
Okay, Day of the Dead.
I just had a shot before.
Little scotch for Grandma Pat. All right, so we're going to look at some various ways
Day
that,
of the Dead.
yes, Dios de los Muertos,
And why do you do the shots?
to honor my ancestors. This one, my grandma drank scotch, so
Oh, all right.
on certain dates, I have a little scotch for Grandma, a little Johnny Walker.
So it's like a nationality, like a regional type.
We're gonna look at some various traditions around this.
No, I'm just saying, like the Scotch is because of the location, like area where she came from. Like, is that Cynn, am I right? Like,
Well, I mean, I just had a shot of moonshine, so I'd say yeah.
that
Grandma
represents.
just like scotch,
So that represents yours. So that represents like what's that? All right, I'm gonna have like a party beer, like a beer you'd have at like a barbecue. You know, cheap beer, just the beer to have. That's what an Italian's probably would toast with. I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
It's all right. So we'll start with Mexico because that's the most popular one, thanks to movies like Coco and The Book of Life.
Book of Life.
The origin of these traditions in Mexico date back to pre-Columbian times. There were ancient rituals that were presided over a goddess known as Lady Death and her husband, the Lord of the Land of the Dead.
Wow.
So back
Imagine
then,
getting that mail.
I know, right? Back then, one of the traditions was to keep skulls as trophies and put them on display. There was singing and dancing to show respect for the dead, and people would pray for luck in the land of the living. Now, fast forward to present times, it's traditional for people to visit the graves of their loved ones and bring offerings such as marigolds and some of their favorite foods and drinks. People also put up ofrendas in their houses, which is like a little altar, and they'll put up pictures of these people, and they'll light candles, and again, put some of the food and drinks that their loved ones enjoyed while they were still alive.
Dave, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Really quick. You ever see the movie Man on Fire with Denzel Washington?
No.
All right. Well, at the end, the bad guy of the film, which is played by that singer I can't stand, was married to Jennifer Lopez. Maybe still is. Michael Anthony. Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it is.
And when they cut to the scene at the end where he's inside and he's praying, to like this, something to do with his mother, something not to, but it's almost like I've seen that before in other movies where they cut to someone, it's more Hispanic, and it's this elaborate like thing of candles and like all this stuff. Like that's like, and I've seen the Italian one where you see like, you might see like around here you would see a Saint Anthony with the rosary beads, and like everyone has their own setup, right? So I know it's in movies, and then they stereotype in movies, but is that kind of basically what we're talking about? Like that elaborate of a they just go all out with the all right, a lot of work.
They would, clean off the graves and decorate them and that kind of stuff as well. So this is like a time of happiness and love and celebrating family. So friends and family would come together and honor their loved ones, and they would tell stories, listen to music, dance, and again, clean up their graves, leave flowers. Um, so they might go to the gravesite, or they might host a feast at their homes. So that's how Mexico celebrates. And today is the Day of the Dead in Mexico.
Really quick, the feast part. Do all gatherings are just food? Is that what it is? Like, because you think about it after a funeral, you go to like the funeral. Sometimes there's like that little get together where people eat. I
Yeah.
don't even know what they call that, but is food just? Let's start with Cynn on this. Cynn, is food universal with ceremonies like this?
I'm pretty sure it is. And in this case, they put out foods that the loved one really loved, not for them to eat them because they were already dead, but the essence of it they would soak up.
Yes.
But then they would eat the food, or they let it go.
No, they wouldn't eat the food that they left for their ancestors. That would be separate from the food that they would eat.
Right.
All right. I always think that I always it makes me want to ask how much food did they have? Do they have enough food?
Have you seen a Latino get together? Holy cow! There's so much food it could feed one state entirely, like Texas. It's ridiculous.
I actually made the mistake of volunteer to bartend at a friend's sister's something by the friend's dad. They're Spanish.
Hispanic?
And I shouldn't have been bartending.
Quinceañera?
Yeah, but I wasn't of legal. I was not of legal. Anyways, I was bartending, and like they'd be like, "Give me a 7 in this," and you'd pour a shot thing in it, and they would always be like, "Keep pouring," because they're not paying for drinks. And it was literally like, do you know how many? No offense, there was a woman that came up, and I couldn't believe she was still walking. I couldn't get it. She was like old and like, you know, when someone starts to do the, and you're going, I really don't even know what you're saying. And she's saying she wants another drink. And I'm like, no. And then the dad comes over and he's like, oh yeah, just give her another drink. She had to have it was another thing of like just straight scotch. Like how this woman didn't just poof to dust.
She was drinking scotch.
Oh,
she was drinking tequila.
No, I was pouring it.
She was drinking scotch.
All I had was scotch and Jack Daniels. Either Jack and Coke or it was scotch and something else, dude. I shouldn't have been bartending. I didn't even know anything about drinks. Anyways, Dave, what was the next one?
Our next stop is Guatemala, where on November 1st they have a huge kite festival. This is to honor their deceased ancestors. The townspeople create these elaborate kites. Some of them reach 30 feet in diameter. They're flown on November 1st in this huge display. It brings all the families in the community together. It fills the sky with all these different colors. The kites are made from all natural materials, and they put prayers and blessings. They handwrite these on and fasten them to the kites.
Wait a minute. So let's define kites really quick, because there's those things that you light up and they all go up in the air together, right? All in like white lights, and it's really nice. Then there's that guy with the thing on the string, and he's watching it, and it's up in the air, and it's got the design on it from wherever he bought it, right? That's also flying a kite. Then there's the guys that are at the beach with the gigantic ones that someone goes running, and it's like they're pulling it. Well, maybe they pull it from their boat. So what do we mean by kites?
So these are I think it's option number 2. So it's, on giant strings, people holding them, they're flying up in the air.
All right. I would not want to do that. Would anyone else? That right there, then I don't want to do it now. Now I wouldn't want to do it because, look, I can barely keep my kite where I want it to be. You think I'm going to trust you flying a kite next to me? And then there's 4 of us? If you don't think those kites are coming down fast, you're crazy. Because I know my kite will go boom. I'm not doing it, Dave. I can't. Who flies kites with another group of people? That doesn't make sense.
These things are massive, though, Mike. They're 30 feet in diameter. It's like the equivalent of a Macy's Thanksgiving parade balloon.
Yeah, and how close are
It's
they
got to take a
standing?
bunch of people to hold at least one of them in place.
And how close are they standing? I don't trust it.
They're all like kind of next to each other in the sky.
Can't trust the
It's
kite.
pretty awesome. I want to see it. It's something I would totally go check out someday.
Let me ask you this: what's the highest you've ever got a kite up in the air?
I have no idea.
You ever have it like to the end of the string?
Not quite to the end, but close.
Cynn?
Unfortunately, I cannot fly a kite.
You've never flown a kite?
No, I suck at it.
Mandy?
Well, I've flown a lot of kites when I was young, and maybe when I was in my 20s, I would take the kids out and try to fly the kites, but I wasn't that good at it. They'd always get caught in trees or.
Mandy, you're going to make a good politician someday.
I'm voting for her. I'm definitely voting for her.
My brother once bought one of those store-bought kites, right? They sell them at like back in the day. It was called Douglas Drug. Then it became like Rite Aid. Then it became like now it's Walgreens. But it was Douglas Drug. And back when I was actually really little, when you first walked in and you went to the right, they had 45 records in the sleeves, and then the tapes. There were no CDs. That's how old I am.
That
Being
store had
90.
everything, though.
Oh yeah, it had when it was Douglas Drug.
Yeah,
it had absolutely everything. And so, anyways, brother bought a kite. Where I built the blue house was just an open field that my dad had filled in by the town. I don't know how that happened, but it filled in. We grew grass. Anyways, we're flying a kite. My brother had it, and he got it to the end of the string, and it was like crazy, ridiculously high. Like we could barely see it. So my dad came running and tied a real rope of string around that, and we let it go. And eventually, it literally got to the height where we were like, I can't believe how high that is. And then it must have broke off somewhere along from where we were to where we could barely see it. It like the rope came eventually like down of what was left. Dude, that was more amazing to me than half the stuff I've ever seen. Was how high in the air that kite was. Like it was. I wanted Guinness to be like on the phone just to come check it. You know, I felt that good about it. I guess. All right, Dave. I'm sorry. Where are we going next?
So with the kites, they write their notes and attach them to the tail of the kites. And as these things fly, it's so the spirits can read them and get the messages.
Yeah.
They're shaped like an octagon. So this resembles the Mayan concept of the four directions, north, south, east, and west, with the additional 4 points representing the crown of the sun.
Very nice.
Next, we're going to go to Nicaragua.
Okay.
So people go and they visit the family tombs. That's the main part of their celebration. And on November 2nd, the cemeteries are beaming with life because you have all these families renovating the tombstones of their loved ones. They're placing candles and flowers and offerings. You have vendors selling food and drinks, and it just creates this big welcoming atmosphere. And they just have this festival as they're cleaning their graves and honoring their ancestors.
Okay. Cynn, what did you think of that one?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mandy?
I liked it, but I've never heard of it. She's laughing.
Dave, you're good at this. You're very intelligent. Cynn said, I liked it. Right? End of comment, right? Mandy said, I liked it, but, and then she gave a reason that, well, like, maybe she didn't like it. As if, like, she's going to offend the people that liked it. You know what I mean?
She's got to have both sides of the vote, man.
I'm telling you. You're going to change your name from Mandy the Machine to Mandy the Politician.
It's Politician Mandy.
Or Mandy the Mayor.
I was told I should have been an attorney.
No, it's more of a politician, trust me, because you actually can say something sort of answer what I'm saying, then sort of confuse me and kick it back to me, and I just kind of go, well, all right. And I'm like, oh, what do you, Dave? And it works. It's the best way to do it, I guess. Dave.
All right, next stop is Ireland. So in Europe, the birthplace of all the Day of the Dead celebrations is kind of traced back to Ireland and Samhain, which Cynn talked about last week, I believe. It's the Celtic holiday that falls on October 31st, and it means the end of the harvest. So it represents the moment when villagers would store their provisions and they would sacrifice their livestock and, ration out everything so they have food for the winter. Now, to scare the evil spirits away, they would build these huge bonfires to protect the living. Also at this time of year, people in Ireland would eat a traditional fruitcake called barm brack, and it contains a hidden prize, Mike.
It was called what, though?
It's called barm brack.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a ring hidden inside the cake, it means you'll marry soon. If you find a straw inside of it, it means you'll have a prosperous year.
Mm-hmm.
So along with their barm brack, the Irish would also drink something called lamb's wool, which is a traditional cider-based drink.
All right, it's lamb's wool cider base. Go back to the cake.
Yes.
You don't remember there was first off, there was the Italian chocolate eggs that would have rings in them and stuff like that. Locally, Dave, and they also made a cake that actually had a prize in the middle of it. It was like a fruit cake. So maybe the Italians shared that, because I can recall something like that in my past. I don't know what it was. I know there was definitely a chocolate thing that had the rings in it, but there was also a cake, like a fruit cake. But for some reason, as much as I hated the cake, there was something cool always on the inside of this stupid cake. You know what I mean? Like, let's eat this cake so we can get to the middle type thing. But okay.
That's good marketing. They're like, how do we get rid of this cake? People don't seem to enjoy it. We'll throw a prize in the center of it.
You know what it is? We hook up with, first off, we have to create something that everybody wants, and something with that when they see it, they immediately want to hold it. Like I impulsively bought this Santa head that's a stress doll. It's like big, it's big and like fuzzy, and you can squeeze them. Because I was like, squeeze. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So if we got something like that, we put it in the middle, and then like surrounded it by cake that nobody wanted, and like we can help the cake, the national cake industry, I guess they call it the NC.
Everybody wants to be the one to get the prize, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We'll be the Cracker Jack of cakes. All right.
Yes.
Dave, where would we go next?
Let's go to India. So they have two traditions. One's called Shrader and one's called Mahalaya.
Pretty good.
And they both have deep cultural and religious significance. So they refer to both of these holidays as the Day of the Dead in India. The Shrader rituals, they're observed by the Hindu families across the country, and it spans from September to October. They use a lunar calendar. During this time, families perform individualized rituals, including food offerings and prayers to pay homage to their ancestors and seek their blessings. So for Mahalaya, sorry if I said that wrong, but it holds particular importance to people in West Bengal and among the Bengali communities throughout India. It occurs on the new moon day in the lunar month of Ashwina, which is about a week before the grand Durga Puja festival begins. So these people wake up early in the morning. They listen to enchanting mantras. They invoke the goddess Durga, and they remember their ancestors. It also marks the beginning of a festive season that leads up to a giant celebration. And they use elaborate decorations, performances, and community gatherings.
Dave.
Yes.
Could you have picked a story with more difficult names to say in your life?
Oh, Mike, you should have seen the names for the... Hang on, it was back in... wait, which one was it? The Lord of the Land of the Dead. The Lord of the Land of the Dead and Lady Death. Their names I'm not even going to try to pronounce.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah, they were...
was
I
a
just
lot
have to
of-
go with the translations because I'm like, I'm going to butcher, I'm going to dishonor these beings, and then I'm going to end up in the land of the dead.
Yeah, I don't think I would have got through one of those correctly. And I don't. And you know what? Just tell the truth. I don't know if you did. Like you may have gotten through like most. You probably got like an 80%, 85. What do you think you got Cynn on those names for real?
I think he scored high.
Mhm.
95
90s? Oh,
Yeah.
95. Wow. All right.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, I'll review the tape little with a
Yes.
linguist. Yes.
So next we'll go to Bali.
Bali.
So your
Bali world.
ancestors come to visit for a galungan,
For what?
and the living relatives have to prepare to entertain and welcome them. If
What's
they
it called?
don't, galungan.
Cynn Galungan.
Galungan.
Galungan. Mandy. Galungan.
Oh my.
No. Galungan. Galungan.
Galuggan?
Galungan.
Galungan.
Galungan. Galungan.
Dave, see how if we just pass it around, we won't say it right completely.
Yeah.
It'll just change eventually. It's not even. We're not even like it's not even telephone, Dave. It's like
This
CB radio.
one's a little different because if you're alive and your ancestors are coming and you don't prepare to entertain them, the ghosts will haunt your home.
Really?
So to prevent this, they prepare huge feasts. They have all these beautiful flowers, and they celebrate to keep everything lively and honor their loved ones.
Yeah. So they like basically they're saying that if you don't party, oh boy, evil spirits are gonna come get you.
If you don't party, we're going to haunt your house. That's basically what the ancestors are saying.
Cynn? Oh,
Yes.
Cynn.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't
Yes.
that sound like something a guy would write?
Uh,
Think about that.
most of this is probably what a guy wrote.
No, but doesn't that stink of guy right there? Like, hey, we gotta go party and do stuff because if not, it's a sin. So we gotta go do it. So sorry.
Like came from a priest. Is that what you're saying?
It's not just dumb. It's like a dumb excuse to party. Like, if you don't party, there's gonna be sin. Like, it's so obvious. Like, whereas a woman would write something that was like loopholes and you didn't really understand it, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it's totally different. That's just very blatant. Like, if you don't have a great time, you're gonna get haunted. Sorry, Dave. You're a guy. You don't think so?
I don't know. But this is one of their most important traditions, and it honors their ancestors. It shows gratitude to their creator, and it keeps their homes from being haunted. Let's do one more because I have a few. Let's do one. Let's go to Nepal. This is huh?
No. I'm sorry. Viva Nepal. Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we're in Nepal. There's a festival that lasts for 8 days in August or September. It's known as the Festival of Cows. Because it's a Hindu festival, cows are considered holy.
Oh, yeah.
And the family members who have lost a loved one within that year, they'll lead a cow through the center of town with the belief that the cow will help guide that deceased loved one to the afterlife. Now, if the family can't find a cow to lead through the town, a boy in a cow mask is used as a substitute.
No.
All right, here's my
Really?
wait.
Yes.
Wait. They didn't say person in a cow mask. They didn't say male in a cow mask. They didn't say someone married, someone this. They said a boy in a cow mask.
A boy in a cow mask will substitute for a real cow if they can't find one.
That would be the last out of the 4.
I mean,
that would be my last option.
I'm glad he didn't say a woman because, a lot of guys say, oh, she's a cow.
That's right.
I want to smack. Yeah.
Yeah.
But steer, cow, there's bull, like, never mind. Really? You'd be that offended because it was a cow? Oh my God. That's what they mean by it. Oh God.
Well, you were offended.
At what?
I don't know. Something about the little boy.
Cynn, that's my point. But no, Dave, the little boy, like, Really? You want a little kid out there with a mask? Like leading this parade? Like that's gonna be the substitute for a bull, huh? Or for a cow, huh? You can't find one fat guy and shame him instead of a little kid? How about that? Is that okay?
Maybe it's
Is
an
that
honor
okay?
to be picked to represent the family.
Ah, I bet you're right.
Oh, you went old school on me. You went logical. Okay.
I do know that from being in a sweat lodge, it's the youngest person that is the keeper of the stones and is in charge of bringing new stones into the center of the
Oh, wow.
lodge. So I guess it's a cultural thing.
I'll tell you what, though. I have really some fit neighbors in my neighborhood. And if they decided to have a neighborhood parade, and so be it, I got chosen to be the cow. Cynn, I'd do it.
Would
I
you?
have no shame. Yeah, I'd be
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
I would
They
too.
proved
I was
me.
a mascot.
Yeah, but what were you again as a mascot?
I was a mascot. I was the big blue dog.
I mean, with credentials like that, Cynn, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Old
You know what I
blue.
mean?
I
Big
was
blue
old blue.
dog. Big blue dog. Me.
Yeah.
That was me. Yeah,
Hound
yeah, yeah.
dog. Hound
What's the
dog
name?
at that.
The
Yeah.
hound dog.
Yep. Ain't nothing but
What was the name of it? Because they had to name the mascot.
old blue. I told you.
Oh, you were old blue.
I was.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I get to call you old blue. Oh no.
Is that like from when Blue retires from Blues Cruise? Blues Cruise?
No,
She was a
no.
blue dog.
Old
She was a blue hound dog named Old
Blue.
Blue.
Yep.
Well, it's
Yep.
better than being Old Yeller.
Yep.
No one put you down, so.
I'm.
Yeah.
You can't tell, but I'm actually dancing in my seat with the
Hey,
idea
I
of Old
loved it.
Blue. Old Blue.
I loved it.
My
I loved
God,
it.
Old Blue. And it's OLE Blue.
Yeah.
Old Blue.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
Blue. Oh, fantastic. Dave, any more?
Let's do Japan real quick.
All right.
It's August 15th. It's a 3-day long celebration that goes back over 500 years. It involves fireworks, feasts, dancing, and games. So
Oh.
people return to their hometowns to celebrate. It's believed that ancestors return to the family on this day. It keeps them from suffering in the afterlife, and it allows them to pay homage to their lost loved ones and celebrate with them. And they have giant bonfires and floating lanterns that drift down the river. Sounds like pretty cool. Anytime you got like fireworks and flaming lanterns down a river and a big feast, I'm in.
I got to be honest. No matter how you celebrate it, it seems like it's a good time to have a good time, right? Right? They all seem like good
Yeah, it's a
times.
celebration. You want to honor your loved ones, keep their memories alive, tell good stories, have some good food.
Do those sound better than Halloween?
I love scary things. I don't know.
Wait a minute. So giving out candy to little kids so they can go home and get a sugar rush, bounce off the walls of the house is better than because let me ask you something. When did Halloween go from mostly the kids to now mostly the adults? I mean, dead serious. Like back in the day, little kids, it was about them Halloween. It was just about them. Parents, parent parties, that kind of stuff was secondary. It just was, I guess, at the time. But now it's like, I guess maybe because we grew up always dressing up and always going to Halloween parties, and it's like you never stop wanting to do it. Is that what's actually happened? Have I grown through a generation of people where I'm so old where it's foreign? Is that what it is? Cynn, did I just get older?
You know, we should have dressed up the entire month. Why didn't we do that?
Because I don't like you could have
I
done
hung
that.
out on Elm Street.
I got plenty
I
of
did.
costumes. I could have mailed you guys some.
I got a lot of costumes.
Oh, yeah. Your last one was really good.
Yeah.
The mouth.
Oh yeah.
I
I
could
went
have
to
worn my
two-
luchador mask for tonight.
2 Halloween parties.
Yeah, how many? Sorry. So see, that's what I'm trying to say. So Mandy, you're the person that goes to Halloween parties. Like you're looking forward to that every year, right?
Well, it had been maybe 4 years since I went to one, and we had 2 this year. So
To make
Yeah.
up for it.
yeah, I had
Thank
to
you.
make up for it.
There you go. Dave, any recent ones really quick before I kick it out, Cindy?
Just for my daughter. She got invited to some, so
Did you dress up?
Huh?
Did you dress up?
I do dress up every year.
And what were you?
This year I was a luchador.
That's pretty funny. I actually would have loved to seen that, man. Cynn, dress up.
It's on.
Like-
It's on Facebook. You got to see him.
Even
Oh, I
even
I didn't go
funnier-
anywhere this year. I did not go anywhere. I would have gone to Mandy's or David's if they'd invited me, but
Man, if I'd known that, I would have invited
Mike,
you.
can you guess my luchador name?
what is it?
No,
Everybody gets a guess.
I can't. Oh boy, I
No.
can't.
Sin?
No, I have no idea actually.
Mandy?
Malcolm. I don't know. Malcolm.
No, it'd have to be
Um,
like Fernando or
So, I don't know.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
It's cirrhosis.
Well, you're
And
gonna.
cirrhosis.
cirrhosis. And my finishing move was the deadly liver punch.
But here's the thing. Now, don't get upset because I do not know who this person is you're talking about.
Yeah, you probably don't.
Me.
I didn't
I
either.
completely made up a character.
It's a luchador. Luchador is a wrestler that
wrestler.
wears a mask.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry
now
that
that makes-
We just geeked you. What you guys usually paranormal are. You know what I mean? We just use a word that you never heard before, and you just keep using it like it's a regular word. Yeah, luchador, a guy who wears a mask that wrestles. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's pretty funny, Dave. Did you try to fight anybody though? Because my problem is I dressed up as Hollywood Hogan one year.
he just
And I
said what
found
his ending punch was.
I don't think he delivered it. The kill of the liver
might
punch.
My neighbor's grandson dressed as the Ultimate Warrior, and I challenged him to a match.
You had to.
But he was only 5, and he just wanted candy.
You know what, Dave? You could have clotheslined his ass quick and just pinned him.
I don't know. He could have done one of these and like picked me up and thrown me up and slammed me down.
What would you know what? Nothing would be worse. Nothing would be worse, man, than to dress up as a luchador and get your ass kicked by a 5-year-old dressed as the Ultimate Warrior. I wouldn't even hang around the neighborhood again. I wouldn't even cut the lawn. Wouldn't even cut the lawn. Wouldn't even come out to get my mail. It'd just be with like a hook. All right, Cynn, what would you like to talk about?
Well, we're continuing with Dia de los Muertos. And I want to talk about famous ghosts in Mexico. So one of them was called Hombrecito, which means little man. And he was trusted to care for the family's chickens and goats. He was old enough to do that. And he was awakened one night to barking dogs. So he slipped past his sleeping family to see what the commotion was. When he came back in, he and some people say 3 days, some people say, whatever, but there was a time that passed between the time that he left and came back. But he was terrified, saying evil things were out there in the dark, and he could never explain them fully, but he was terrified. For months, he refused to leave the hut after that until his father got upset with him and said, okay, we're done with this. Took hold of his hand, drug him out and up the hill. And then this is where some people say a crash of lightning struck, wolves howled. So one or the other happened. And the father, lost what he was doing, her perspective and all that kind of stuff, and let go of the kid's hand. And when he turned back around, the kid was gone. He still shows up, but he's a ghost. And people say that if they catch sight,
Cynn,
yes,
the kid wanted to leave the hut or something.
He did not want to leave, but his father drug him out.
Why?
To get over the fear. Like in one story I have in the book where Jess was telling he was terrified of the water and his dad threw him in to get over that fear. That's what this dad was doing. He was getting him over the fear of the dark and the scary thing that he saw because he thought it was ridiculous.
That water thing was every dad in the 70s.
Yeah.
No, my dad threw me in the deep end. He threw my brothers in deep ends. The other guy across the street threw his kids in deep ends. Not a good way to teach a kid how to swim. Effective.
Not
a
for
good one.
Jess. I'll have to tell you that story sometime.
Okay.
But
all right.
All right, so they say his ghost, this little boy's ghost, Hombrecito, foretells disasters like hurricanes, fires, contagious diseases, or more recently, criminal or drug dealer attacks.
Mm.
The next one is an evil priest of Mexico. This guy was stealing from the church, and instead of putting the offering, the gold that he collected from the parishioners into the church, he pocketed it and then hid it and buried it in a treasure chest. Well, somebody found out about it and followed him to the place that he buried it and confronted him with it. The priest killed the guy, left his body over the top of the treasure chest, and buried him with it. Now, when the priest was dying, he confessed his sins, including the murder and stealing from the church. A caregiver overheard this and went to find this treasure chest. And when he dug it up, a glowing green light came out of the skeleton, and it scared him off. So to this day, it's said that if anyone tries to dig up this treasure, that they are either never seen again or something terrible happens to them.
How much are we talking?
Don't know. It was gold. That's all I know. Gold in a chest.
I would see how you guys running for stuff. I would something like that. I might consider. But here's what I'm trying to figure out. First off, you don't steal from the church. That right there is sin number one. So once I heard that, I'm thinking, oh boy, now, because even like rotten people that I know, they know not to steal from the church. But then when the priest finds a guy and then whacks him, like that's even more disturbing. And then buries him on top of it like a trophy kill, and then confesses it. Like that's bad upon bad upon bad. So yeah, you want to hear something about that's haunted? Oh, I'd buy that one. I'm serious.
Yes. Moving on?
Yes.
All right. Baja California's roadside seductress.
Oh, no.
This is a mysteriously beautiful woman appearing beside a highway in Baja California, sir. When asked, what are you doing out here alone on the side of the highway? She merely smiles and whispers, I'll tell you later. She disappears after the person either wrecks, killing himself by driving into something, or rolling off an embankment. No one knows why she appears. They don't know if she was betrayed by a husband or a lover or something, but that's kind of what they're thinking happened. They don't know who she is.
What if you ask her something different?
Like, where'd you get those shoes?
Like, yeah, just like, what if you just like, get in the car?
Or let's go get a pizza.
No, but I'm just as simple as, because if I know it's a ghost, I'm gonna be like, get in the car. And she doesn't. Would she just walk in, and would she be like, "I'll tell you later," and then it would have no context?
Well, I don't know. She gets in first. Listen, why are you so difficult?
I'm sorry.
What if you tell a Marge like me?
The ghostly nurse. Beautiful nurse in Mexico City fell in love with a young doctor. Unfortunately, he was engaged. She did not know this. Now, he went away on business, except it was his honeymoon, and she found out about it. When she wasted away pretty much because she was totally in love with him, couldn't get over it. She wouldn't eat or sleep. She wasted away in the hospital that she was working in. And she continues to haunt the hospital where she worked today, except it's a good thing because she heals the patients assigned to her room.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, although, I like her.
There was actually a time where you could have like two wives in different states and they'd never find out. That's ridiculous. No, I'm being serious. Like now with the internet, you try that story. Holy.
Next is Consuelo. Consuelo died before she could attend her first grand ball, and she reappears when a young man, married or not, goes to a party without his partner. Only he can see her. And as they whirl around the dance floor together, he sees her, but everyone thinks he's just dancing by himself.
Is it Billy Idol?
That was Dave. Beat me to it.
The next one, the ghost of Pancha Villa. Now, some historians believe that Villa shaved his head and tattooed a treasure map on his scalp. So when he died, his grave was dug up. Grave robbers took his head, and it is said now that he wanders through northern Mexico waving a pistol, riding a jet black horse looking for his head.
Okay.
Now, this guy also had treasure buried, but it was several different places. Several.
Okay. Problem. Dave, you got a tattoo?
I do not.
Cynn?
Yes.
All right. Mandy?
For the specific reason, I don't want anyone beheading me for the map that would be on my head.
Which in itself is a great actual reason to not get one. But Mandy, you didn't answer.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, Cynn, Mandy, you guys have any intricate things with black ink or darker ink? Like, in other words, designs that are like more. All right.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever got one when you younger? Like younger? Like, I got my first one 18, so that was like about 80.
I was 21.
All right.
I was 35.
All right. With the way that your tattoos have aged, especially my own, would you suggest a map out of tattoo ink? I'm being serious.
To find a treasure. Yeah, to find a treasure.
On a skull. Like, you're tattooing on his skull with tattoo ink, which as time goes on, turns maybe a lighter color, maybe something blends. Like, I had to have certain letters, like, purposely really spaced out because they kind of they bleed and blend as time goes on. That's just how they. Does anyone know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but your scalp isn't going to react to gravity like hanging skin, like on the back of your arms.
Here's my question. What if the tattoo artist took the copy of the map and just went and got the treasure?
Yeah.
But Dave, wait, back to the scalps. So, Cynn, you're saying that if you had a 30-year-old scalp and an 80-year-old scalp, and you could just put your hands down on the bald scalp, you'd feel no difference in age.
It's not going to be much difference on the top of your head.
No. Don't
on the
man
top
me.
of your head?
Don't man me. Not much is a big difference. Is it going to be a difference? You can't say not much, because once you say not much, it means yes, there is going to be a difference.
I've seen wrinkles on
some faded.
Some men who's bald have wrinkles on their head.
On the backs.
No, they spread.
I've seen bald-headed men have wrinkles. Some of them, not all of them, but and I can only imagine if they had a tattoo done on all of it. That would be kind of hard to read it if it went all the way around, especially in the back too, because the wrinkles.
Okay, Mandy, you win again.
The folds.
We need to find a picture of Bam Bam Bigelow, Mike.
Bam Bam.
He's not alive anymore.
I know, but as he aged, I think the flames on his head like faded and the lines like spread out a little more.
All tattoos fade. I don't like. That's why when I was younger, I was told this one great thing was like, pick your colors. Like, stay away from like bright colors at this point. Like light bright colors. They're just not going to be there, or they're just going to like blob. I had Dave had a blue werewolf when he was like early 20s, and it was just a color of blue that you just knew wasn't going to last. I can't explain it when you see it, and it just faded rough. He got a really cool one over it, but you just started to fade rough because you stick with black because you at least know it's gonna. Everything I got is basically all black ink because it's gonna get less black, but it does bleed. So if you have any letters, things around it, whatever. Cynn, any more?
Yes.
Okay.
If you quit interrupting me. So
it's on me.
Yeah. So lots of treasure hidden all over Mexico, right? And he also buried with the treasure. He killed the people that helped him carry it. So the blood of the people that helped him carry it supposedly watches over the treasures. And one of his friends knew one of the hiding places of one of the treasures, but refused to tell anyone because
He was a
the
friend.
ghost of the Indians in the form of vampire bats come out to attack anyone who comes close to the treasure.
Snitches get stitches.
The last thing I have is Ghosts of the Yucatan. They are gremlin-like apparitions called aluxes or alushes.
Alusha?
They're either a lush
is.
Yes.
So a lush is. A lush
singular
I know.
alux. Alux.
Oh,
stay with me.
Fancy word night. Sorry.
Okay. All over the Yucatan Peninsula, and are said to have been there thousands of years. They're dwarf-like creatures, less than a meter tall, splashing in the rain or antagonizing frightening dogs. They guard crops and play malicious tricks on those who do not believe in them. They love sweets and insist on them: cakes, jelly, fruit, honey, for the protection they offer. Not only that,
what's a meter in feet?
Humans insane. What?
What's a meter in? What's a meter in feet?
David?
I'm being serious. I still don't know it. This whole metric thing. Like,
I don't either.
He's a meter in height, and I'm going, I don't know how tall that person is.
I don't know.
I have no idea what I would say that guy is.
Well, let me just tell you that
I know we looked this up before, Mike.
in my new book, Realm of Shadows, I actually wrote about the aluxes because a friend of mine was telling me about them. When she went down, she has a condo down in the Yucatan, and she heard some noises one night in the apartment.
3.3 feet. 3 feet, 3 inches. Sorry.
All right.
Yep.
No, that's okay. And they kept waking up feeling someone was in the apartment with them. Never happened before all the years they'd been going. So the next day, one of the Mexican neighbors came over, and he lived in the same complex. And they mentioned the strange feeling they were having, somebody staring at them all night. And he goes, it was just the aluxes. And she goes, what's an alux? And he told her it's a Mayan spirit or sprite. And he said it was about knee high to us with wide owl-like eyes. And they're quick little pranksters who like to play tricks and are usually invisible to us. And she read about them after that. And they actually do cause mayhem and destruction if they're angered. Usually lived in jungles, forests, fields, or caves, and can be anywhere around the area. So people leave offerings of food in sweet forms, honey, jams, and things like that, cakes out for them to keep them happy and protecting the crops instead of driving them insane.
Wow.
Nice wrap up. Mandy, over to you. And Mandy, Sully from Godsmack is 5'6".
He's taller than me, only by an inch, but he's taller than me, and I'm short.
But I told you he's not a tall person. People, never mind. Go ahead. Your story?
Well, I'm going to talk about 2 locations that I've actually been to. The one is in Indiana, and Jim Jones, the cult leader, in 1975, I think he became Rev Jim Jones. But he had a whole following of people. There was 918 people who was following him. And the reason I want to talk about him is because there's a location in Indiana, is a church that he went to when he was younger. And it's a new location, and you can go there and investigate the church, which I have been to. And we actually got some interesting stuff that came through our spirit boxes and on recordings. But he was a cult leader. He ended up poisoning all these people. men, women, children. Once they found out that what he was doing, his plans, because he was a real controlling person. And
Mandy, I gotta stop. Let me stop you on controlling people. Memphis Ghost Hunters. Are you familiar with them at all?
Oh yeah, he's a stalker.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm just curious as to what the new video To Die For is.
It's hard to say with him.
Well, I mean, no. I wonder what the comment means.
Really?
I'm worried, but check out the new video. It's To Die For.
Is it like one of those movies where if you watch it, you die? Let's not watch it.
No. Is that a veiled threat? Could that be considered that on the internet? It's pretty close. Boy, if I was Memphis Ghost Hunters, I'd watch out for that one. That's not a good thing to say. Because if it's not a video that you're like, oh boy, you're gonna laugh or you can't wait to see it, then that's not really a good thing to say. That's an odd use of terminology that will forever be on the internet. Just wanted to let that be known. That's a bad choice of ways to do things. Yeah, that's a bad thing to do. Yeah, Mandy, continue. I'm sorry.
But he was controlling all these people. He wanted them to all stay, and there was some people that wanted to leave. And once they got on to what he was doing, these people would try to leave, and he had like a whole security team. And when these people tried to leave, he had them all gunned down. And then he had them put this, he had some of his people make up a batch of Kool-Aid and made all these people drink it. And yeah, so this guy was pretty bad. But it's just interesting as a paranormal investigator. I know that might sound a little crazy going to a location that this bad guy was at and grew up, but it's anyway, it's an interesting location. Anybody out there who want to go check it out?
I'm sorry, Mandy, that's where he was from?
I think he was from, I don't know if it was Jonestown, but he went to church. He grew up in the church there in Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah. And this was the church that he grew up in. I don't know how many years he went to the church, but from what I understand, he had been there a lot growing up. So it's a very interesting place to go to. It's a new location too.
Cult leaders are extremely interesting. Like how people buy their bullshit is amazing. It's amazing. I don't know if it's them, how dumb the other people are. I never can decide when it comes to cult leaders.
It's brainwashing.
Yeah, 50. Mandy, what's the second place?
Well, I just got back from a location in Bland, Missouri. It's called Cooper Hill Village. And now this location, it's I would say there's probably been maybe 2 teams that's been there now, me and another team. And it's a very active location. It has a lot of history. The place was built, I think, in early 1800s. It started off with the Leach family, and the Leach family ended up building a community here, right there in Cooper Hill. So this property has like maybe 7, 8 houses on the property, which belong to a lot of different families that lived in the community. And they ended up having their own cemetery for the Leach family, the Bakers, Coopers, just a lot of history here. The building was at one time, let's see, they ran a general store, a post office, and there was a lot of other stuff here too. But the Union soldiers hid out there in the cellar. They said they were camping out there. There was so much history. There was one of the Leach men named Timothy, I think it was Timothy Sr., drowned in Mistake Creek. I was going to say river. Mistake Creek He was in his 70s. He was on his way home and he had been drinking moonshine. He ended up drowning in the creek. And he was one of the people that, that grew up in this village. And his spirit is well known at this location.
That happened. No,
well,
the moonshine 70s trip into a lake creek. It happens. It does. If you're in those circumstances, you're around that stuff.
And I think he would have passed in the late 1800s at that time. But there's just so much death that had taken place there. Amazing place to go to. If you want to check this place out, you got to contact this owner, which she's awesome, Cindy Davis. And she does allow people to come there, depending on who you are. But we did capture some amazing evidence, though. So, for instance, talking about this situation here, my spirit box, we were talking about Timothy Sr., who drowned in the river. Oh, I called it a river, but it was a creek. I had the spirit box running, and I was talking about that situation that happened. Well, I was calling it a river. Spirit came through the box, and he said, no, a creek. So it was really interesting to have them come through that spirit box and validate I was wrong, basically, and say. And I even think he said it was Mistake Creek through the spirit box, and moonshine.
Of course.
He said so. A lot of intelligent spirits here at this location. So I just wanted to talk about this. It's a unique location. It's a village. It's old. It's got a lot of history.
To get a correction on a spirit box is another step up to me as far as communication. Like it's not just you're catching a word when someone's correcting you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best one I think you could probably get, because it's more them showing evidence of they know what they're talking about and you don't. Like it's
Well, the lady who owns the property has a whole list of the history on this location of all these people who died and how they died. And that was one of the interesting stories, because his tombstone wasn't in the cemetery that he had built. It was across the street, because he liked to argue with people. This guy, he liked to debate. He loved to do debates with people, and he wanted to be alone. And they had him like across the streets, his tombstone. They said they had a rocking chair out there at one time for him. It is interesting. But when all this was going on during the investigation, and he was correcting me through the spirit box, they ended up bringing out the paper, and we read on the paper, and he drowned. He was in his 70s. He drowned from drinking moonshine on his way home, and it was Mistake Creek. Is where it happened.
Sounds like a bad name for the creek.
I know.
Before we wrap up, I'll leave you with this. I was watching, as I do, old boxing footage, and Muhammad Ali actually said, he said something to somebody. He said along the lines of this. He went, river, creek, lake, ocean. He's like, they're all just bodies of water. And the guy was like, yeah. And Muhammad goes, that's what religion is. And it was just like, well, how does he do it? Like there's certain people that it's a delivery, the way that they phrase themselves, the way that they can make themselves really like relatable. And then all of a sudden they hit you at something, you go, well, goddamn, Muhammad, that was like one of the most. That's a lot of wisdom right there. Thank you for phrasing it that way. You're right. They're all bodies of water. Dave, what do you get to wrap it up?
A band I used to help out, they used to have a T-shirt that says "Your ancestors are watching." So, on this Day of the Dead, just remember, your
what was the name of the band?
Are watching. Huh?
What band?
Corporate Avenger. They're out of Huntington Beach, California.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
That is a cool name. Cynn, wrap it up.
Author signing for Realm of Shadows coming up on the 10th of November here in Lincoln County at the Book Inn. Books are on Amazon.
Mandy, wrap up.
All right. If you want to see some live investigations, you can follow Ghost Sisters on all social media. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also, if you're interested in a reading, you can follow me on TikTok and Facebook on Intuitive Medium Mandy.
There it is. Hey guys, I went out to Block Island for the weekend. I hung out with Rick and Sarah, and then proceeded to watch them do like a white noise thing, and then they did the Gansfeld method at back at the thing, and it was so much fun being in my role, because I was just like, as they're reading off words that they want like people to write down, I realized, and it was said too, even Sarah said it, like our Rhode Island accent is tough enough to understand as is. But when someone's trying to read something fast that they're hearing in their head, like there were words she had no idea what he was saying that I had to go, oh no, he meant shoes. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, and then now she's in Florida, but she has that Buffalo dialect where it's at Oregon. So there was something she's going and he's going, like he's thinking it has more syllables in it because he doesn't understand but it's just the way she phrased it. So it was so much fun watching them work together. But no, honestly, they were great. The idea of it was great. The shot that I got of the two of them sitting in the room with the red light in their face was such a spooky angle. I discovered such a great angle to continue to do that, because I was outside in the place where I thought it was a little bit more safe. And they were in that room completely in the dark, right? With the blindfold, the goggles, the white noise, and that red ring. And it was so weird how both of them would start to break down around the same time. Like they both went in there and they both were like staring into it. And it's like after like 5-10 minutes goes by, you just see there's just something uncomfortable about that situation, period, that starts to break you down. And then yeah, they both had kind of similar reactions. It's weird. Sarah knows how to explain what's happening, whereas Rick was more like, knock it off. Like,
yeah, that was his first time, right?
Yeah, but it was like more, there were two different people. One who's been done the experience and knows how to help explain it as she does it, so people have an idea what she's talking about, whereas one's just like, because at one point he's like, I got to get out of here. You guys can get me out. She started to walk in, and as she's about to grab him, he goes, give me 5 more minutes. He didn't even know he was in the room. I'm like, that's
I seen you guys.
It was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again. Got the new gear. Just started working with someone new. Looking to do a couple of different shows. I came up with an idea for a paranormal show, and here's my idea. You guys tell me what you think before I wrap this up. You take a bunch of different topics and you put them on a wheel. And then before every show, you spin that wheel. Whatever it lands on, we talk about. And then maybe at the halfway mark, we'll spin it one more time and we'll argue or discuss whatever else is on the wheel. That way,
that's interesting.
I'm calling it legit paranormal roulette. I
like it.
Wherever it lands, we just discuss that. And it'd be great to get different people every time and just throw them in the group, 4 people, spin the wheel and see what they talk about. Like in other words, I'd like to be the producer that pops on and is like, hey, spin the wheel. And then maybe you could pop on and go and spin it and they go. And then you pop out and then 4 people come up and they just got to discuss whatever it is we talked about.
Dang.
Just an idea.
It's different. Yeah.
It's definitely, it's always going to be different. Good is a different situation. So, for the machine, Mandy, for Cynn, Shrader, Hill, author, for Dreamy David Barr. It's me, Michael B. King, Mike Elvis was Legit Paranormal News, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. Rini is still on vacation. Tomorrow night we will have the Legit Paranormal Clips, followed by Legit Paranormal 101. Oh, I can't wait to go back to school on that one. Guys, we see